First tonight.
Stand down!
Dramatic and dangerous.
Stand down!
A Broward deputy under attack. Then.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Pierre shows a path of non-compliance.
From cell phone video to surveillance video to a deputy's body cam video. Live night team coverage of The Tale of the Tape.
Hello again, everyone. This killer confrontation captured from all angles.
The Broward sheriff says the danger was clear and present and his deputy was forced to fire. New tonight, family of the man who died speaks out. We have live night team coverage of the investigation and the aftermath. We're going to begin with Nicole Ensalada at BSO headquarters near Fort Lauderdale. Nicole.
Well, Craig, Sheriff Scott Israel said he wanted to release all of this video because he wanted to put an end to any rumors, make sure there was no false information out there. The family, though, is giving us a new perspective. They say that their loved one, Jean Pedro Pierre, had a health problem. He had had a stroke earlier in the year. They wondered if that had anything to do with this, but still, they believe that the deputies could have done something differently.
All I can tell you, this is not my brother. He wasn't a violent person. He was a good guy.
The pain of John Pedro Pierre's family has only been compounded by seeing this newly released video of their loved one and his deadly confrontation with police.
I just want to know why. He's a good person. I just want to know why they did that to him.
Hey, turn him loose. Turn him loose, dog. Don't get yourself in no trouble.
The first moments of this cell phone video show Pierre holding Deputy Sean Youngward by the foot.
Oh, my leg!
Minutes earlier, Pierre had been visiting a woman who lives at the Sunset Hills Apartments. She asked him to leave, but for some reason, he decided to call 911.
911, what is your emergency?
I need the police to do me a favor.
He never makes clear what that favor is. The deputy arrives at the apartment at 3610 Northwest 21st in Lauderdale Lakes and is inside for about 17 seconds before he's chased by Pierre.
I didn't think that was him in the video. Even though it is him, I didn't think he would ever do that if he was in his right mind.
But it goes on. Pierre continues to chase the deputy through the corridor, Pierre swinging. At one point, though, the deputy tases him. It's still not over. On the outside walkway, Pierre continues lunging at the deputy, who is holding the taser, eventually knocking the deputy to the ground.
When the taser did not work, he used an expandable baton. He did everything he could.
That's when neighbor Romeo Pericles began recording.
Brother. Hey, let go of his leg, bro. Bruh. Let go of his leg, bruh. Let go of his leg, man. There's more coming, bruh.
We see a backup deputy, Stephen Briggs, respond, pointing his weapon.
It was a violent encounter.
Then the shooting. From Romeo Pericles' view.
Oh, my God.
And from the surveillance camera.
Under pressure.
You know, he felt like the life was in danger and so it killed him. But he has no gun on him.
His family says Pierre was a former entrepreneur, a father of 5, but he had a stroke earlier this year, and this was not him.
My dad, he had a mental health issue with him that nobody knew about, and I wish the police knew about that before killing him. I know he didn't mean to hurt nobody.
The way he act, whatever the way my brother acted, he not deserve to die for that. I don't like that, and I need justice.
And the fact that we know that we won't be able to see him or talk to him or have a hug or anything, it really does hurt us.
On Saturday.
Now, the family did have praise for the deputy who was on the ground for his restraint. Now, as for the investigation, that will be conducted by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Eventually, the findings will go to the state attorney's office and then to a grand jury to see if any charges will be filed in this case. Reporting live at Broward Sheriff's Office headquarters near Fort Lauderdale, Nicole Ensalada, 7 News 19.
And Nicole, we have more now from that deputy's body camera. The night team's Walter Morris, also at BSO headquarters. He continues our night team coverage. Walter.
Well, Belkis, BSO saying they're trying to be as transparent as possible. And tonight we're seeing this entire encounter from the perspective of both deputies.
Apartment 103, apartment 101.
3 fatal shots. Captured by 2 different body cameras.
Get your hands off him now!
Swooping by.
The fires have so far destroyed hundreds of buildings.
Friday,
and
BSO
forced
releasing
tens
this
of
footage of
thousands
the dramatic moments before Deputy Stephen Briggs pulled the trigger, fatally wounding Jean Pedro Pierre. The deadly encounter starting when Deputy Sean Youngward arrived at the Lauderdale Lakes apartment Wednesday afternoon after a domestic disturbance call.
Called him in.
And seconds after he goes inside, chaos.
What'd you say? What'd you say? Say it again.
Surveillance cameras recording as Pierre charges at the deputy. And this from Youngward's perspective.
Forecasters predict wind gusts to intensify by Saturday night.
Pierre chasing the deputy out through the hallway as he calls for backup.
Back down, man!
Youngward using his taser, but it appears to have no effect on Pierre as the 42-year-old continues the attack.
What is wrong with you? Stand down!
Eventually, Youngward falling to the ground. Pierre can be seen grabbing him by the ankle. And this from the deputy's point of view as he pleads with Pierre while he tries to use his baton.
Tell me what is wrong! You tell me what is wrong!
This from Deputy Briggs' point of view as he runs through the hallway looking for the other deputy in distress.
Challenging the thousands of firefighters who have been battling the blazes for
Briggs
5
running into
days
the courtyard as
in the
Pierre's
San Diego
assault
area,
intensifies.
And all units should be advised 197 at apartment 1.
Eventually, Pierre turning his attention towards Briggs, and the deputy pulls the trigger. Both officers' body cameras capturing the aftermath as backup and EMTs arrive. Pierre taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Hurt 6 people and injured 4 firefighters.
And as the investigation
California is
unfolds,
still recovering
Youngward
from
can be heard
wildfire
recapping the whole ordeal.
back in October.
She says come in and step in about 4 steps. This big guy says get out, blah, 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 gets on me. So, okay, so then he hits me.